man.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Major Williams here with another episode of the Majorvation Podcast. Today, we have another amazing guest. We want to talk about all things inspirational, aspirational, and motivational. As always, got my good friend Douglas. He's been on the podcast once before. Some time has passed. We want to kind of catch up with him in regards to the things that he's been up to, and also get some understanding about his industry and get educated. As always, he's always dropping the gems and just kind of sharing genuinely with people so we can get more familiar with business, with insurance, and just cultivating family dynamics and all those different things. So without further ado, welcome to the Majorvation Podcast, my friend.
Man, how you doing, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to have us back on. I know it's been a while, but obviously we follow each other. I've been seeing you active, and me following your page is kind of like an inspiration page. I go there and get some inspiration and pull from it, and then my day works out just fine.
I love it, man. I love it. That's the idea. That's the goal, to keep adding value to anyone that steps into my page, changing their mindset when it comes to financial education so that they could, empower their families, themselves, because people forget that they are the investment. It's not the stock market. It's not the Bitcoin. You are the investment because, you have to invest in yourself to make more money. Because a lot of people think, it's working hard. No, invest in your mindset. The more knowledge you have, the more money you go make. And I'm a perfect example of that, coming from a country with no college education, nothing, and getting to this great country that, has blessed me. I love it, and
Yeah.
just understanding the system and adding more value, getting to the financial service space where not a lot of people that look like me, I ain't doing on the level that I'm doing it. I had to understand the system, and I had to watch other folks in the industry that don't look like me, the way they're scaling. I'm like, man, I need to learn from them. And I started learning what they're doing, the way they're positioned. I'm like, man, I need to do everything they're doing.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I don't know if this is a new situation, but the office that I've seen online, or you're in a new office now? And if so, congratulations. And let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, man. Just like everything in life, man, I had a previous relationship with another organization that I was part of for 25 years, part owner of that company. But, as life happens, partnership doesn't really align in some cases, especially when you're put together with people to partner with people instead of you picking your partner. It's all relationships. It's just like an arranged marriage, right? You don't know that. You don't know the person, and then you all got put together because what happened was the old company, the owner was retiring, so he sold the company to me and three other folks. One of the other guys retired, and then was left with one lady and one other guy, myself. The alignment wasn't the same because where I wanted the company to go, the vision I had, they weren't trying. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go start True Legacy Life with my wife so we could focus on the market that we want to serve, which is the underserved market. When I talk about the underserved market, I mean the immigrant market that don't understand the financial system of America. Because a lot of times, and there's so many immigrants here. And I tell people at the end of the day, a lot of us are immigrants. You just got to understand now. We're blessed. We have some people that are born here. Like my children are born here. So they don't see themselves anywhere. But, in the Africa where I come from, you belong to where your parents come from. But America is so good at branding that they kidnap your children. So your children don't say, I'm African. They say I'm an American. But that's the best branding ever. So they're good at that. So I go after the immigrant community, especially the ones that don't understand the financial system of America. You can't come to a country and don't learn the system. A lot of people come in and they still do the same old thing that they've been doing in their country. So I'm like, let me teach you a different way of understanding the system, things you need to have in place, like trust, like a will, like insurance, because so many of them own buildings, businesses, and then they die, they have nothing. We've seen immigrants. Okay, Elon Musk, he's an immigrant from South Africa, but look at how much wealth he's built, right? But he took time to understand the system. I mean, this guy has a family office managing his wealth. He spends $2 million every year paying a family office. So you just gotta learn from the wealthy, and that's what I'm doing.
Right. And I think that's a key when it comes to any success. A lot of success, if you talk to people that are successful, they'll tell you a lot of it is copy and paste and just creating your own twist to the functions and the systems that already exist.
Right.
Why recreate the wheel when there's a proper formula already in place, right? So rebrand it, remarket it, and redistribute it to the world under your
Right.
brand, under your umbrella. So tell me, you are in contact with a lot of different people from all walks of life, specifically immigrants, which you guys are intentionally targeting at this particular point, educating and inspiring that group of people. How has the conversation been as of late when so many people are talking about the economy, and whether it's misinformation or whatever the case may be? How has that been an issue, or has that come up in your circles thus far?
Well, people gravitate to whatever it is you're talking about. So if I don't have that conversation, they don't bring it to me because I'm not interested in how who is running the country is running the country. Because at the end of the day, Trump and the vice president have a job to do. They've been elected to do a job. It's like this. Here's how I position myself to understand the country. Is America is a business, it's an institution. And as an institution, they're not going to retire tomorrow. They're not going to die tomorrow. They want to be around for 200-300 years. And then an institution goal and a job for a company is to what? Bring in revenue, just like your company. You want to do what? Bring revenue into your company. You want to make sure, okay, if I get hired to work at a company, right? I want to see, okay, where's the money at? Let me see this money thing. All this money you all say we got, I need to see how we're running it. So that's what they're doing. They're figuring it out. So my job for my clients, I say, listen, you have to focus on your company, your family. Your family is the most important value you need to understand. Focus on your family, how you running your family business. And most people only think about a business when they set up an LLC. That's the only time they think of a business. Oh, I need to build my business credit. I need to build. No, your social security number is a tax ID number for individuals. So you need to understand that you are a business partner with the US government because the government sees you as a business. That's why when people divorce, it's 50-50. Isn't that what they do when people it's 50-50 down to the middle, and some people get lucky, they get more money because the person didn't structure and protect his part of the business. So understanding that, you have to first of all ask yourself, if something happens to me, there's an emergency. For example, in your state that you're in right now, California, there was a lot of fire that happened. What did the media show? Media only showed the wealthy. Why are they only showing the wealthy? Well, because they don't want the American people to feel sorry for the wealthy, because people always hate on wealthy people. So because they only show the wealthy, everyone moves on with their life. But there's people that are homeless because of that fire. There's people that their wealth burned down because of that fire, that had to move out of California because of that fire. Nobody's talking about those people because they're people like you and I, regular folks. That don't have $20 million house. They've put all their wealth in the house. So what I'm doing in my company is educating folks the importance, because there's been so many lies about home ownership. America, I say this, the government, the media, banks, three of them, their job, they're business partners. They love each other. Their job is to get in the mindset of the people to do what? Generate revenue. Because American government don't print money. They make money off of taxes. So that's how they make their money. If you watch the wealthy people, what do? They're always looking for a way to do what? Minimize their tax liability. Even Trump gave people tips the last time. He said, well, listen, folks, I didn't pay taxes not because I didn't want to. I just followed the tax law. That's it. If there's a law that he followed, man, I need to find out about that and find out how I could pay less tax. We're not saying don't pay taxes, because you're going to still pay taxes on a lot of other things. He did not just pay taxes. He's just talking about he didn't pay a lot of money in income tax. But he pays taxes when he goes to the grocery store. He pays taxes. Every time he buys food, he pays taxes. Gas, he pays taxes on all those things, right? That's not tax exempt. So you just got to find out. And the government, the US government said, listen, if you figure it out how to minimize your tax liability, then good for you. You got it. But don't do no tax evasion.
So last time we spoke, Douglas, you shared an amazing story. You spoke about it a little bit in the beginning in regards to your humble beginnings and you just really figuring out ways to figure it out for yourself, and something clicked in you when you saw something and you wanted better for yourself. Being in this industry, over 20 something plus years now, and having those successes and touching many people's lives and just empowering and educating others over the last couple of years, has there been a moment or a person that you could share a little bit about their rise in regards to the beginning of being hesitant and getting informed and excited and now thriving in your industry along with you from that perspective?
Oh, yeah. So many people. Because what I do is I educate agents when they come on board my company, because I don't want, first I teach them, I say, okay, you got to understand financial institution, because that's what I had to do. First, I always tell people I've been in business 30 years. My first 5 years, I was just like everybody else, just selling the product. Just like every insurance agent or financial advisors, just selling product. Until I said to myself, wait a minute. Every time I go help a family, the first thing they say, Douglas, we have so much debt. And can you come back next month or 2 months from now so that if I'll be paying off my car next month. And then when I go back next month, I'm like, okay, let's go. They're like, man, I can't even find the money. So I have to sit back and say, wait a minute, Douglas, you yourself, you're in debt. If you're in debt, how are you going to help somebody that has debt? I'm like, man, it's like the blind leading the blind. Just because I'm wearing a suit, tie, looking sharp, I'm just a sales guy. So I had to shift the mindset, because everybody is selling. And the US government, the banks, and the media recruited insurance agents, they've recruited financial advisors, they've recruited real estate agents, they've recruited attorneys, they've recruited CPAs, and taught them how to sell their product. Because when you go to when you go to a financial advisor, they tell you, hey, you need to put your 6 months emergency money with your bank. And then every time you want to go get a loan from me, you can't even get it, and you have so much debt. Oh, buy a house. Home ownership is the wealth building strategy. At the end of the day, you buy the house, and most people do what? They start making extra payment to pay it off quickly. And then they pay it off, they have all these equities in the house, and then a fire happens and it burns down to the ground. Or you have an emergency and you can't pull the money out. So I had to change my mindset and say, listen, I need to step outside this blind box and focus on what the wealthy in America is doing. And as soon as I started doing it, it changed the game. So the first thing I found out was, one, I need to teach the folks that are coming into my company and teach them the same knowledge that I have so that they understand. So the first thing we talk about, we say, listen, the institutions that we do with, building a bank, Fidelity Investment, insurance company, they're like a dealer, a manufacturer. Their job is to manufacture products. Now they have different dealerships all across the country. The dealership is who sells the product. So for example, if you go to a Toyota dealership in California, there's so many of them, right? But those dealership, you have one experience with one dealership versus another dealership. One dealership, you go, I'm not coming back here. Another one you go to, man, I love this place. I'm going to stick to this and buy their product all day. Same thing with financial product. There's so many dealerships out there. The question is, when you go to the dealership, what kind of experience are you getting in a financial dealership? So when we build True Legacy Life, our focus and our vision is to always serve our clients. And our clients are not just the clients that we sell to. Our clients are our salespeople, our financial professionals that work with us. We pour into them, educate them correctly, help them understand the value of your hard work. Because think about it. Everyone makes money. I tell people, listen, I cannot help you make money. I don't know how to do that for you. But what I can do is help you preserve and protect your hard-earned money. When we think about money, a lot of times we forget that money is a tool. It's just like water. This cup right here has water in it. The water is saying, Douglas, drink me, use me to clean the house, do something with me, but don't leave me in here. I'm not lazy. Why are you making me lazy? Sitting here, I'm not doing anything. I'm not serving any purpose. Same thing with money. See, if I ignore the water, it's going to start evaporating. It's going to be gone. Same thing with money. When you make money, hard work, you work hard and you make the money. The money is like, let me serve you. Let me help you make more money. What are you going to do with me? Do you want to invest me somewhere? You want to start a business with me? Do something, but don't just pack me somewhere where I'm losing value, because money is not lazy.
Yeah.
Money could give you the life that you want.
No, I
So
agree.
yeah.
That goes to my next question. So on a off subject though, everything that you've done, it feels like a movie, right? It's like you can write this script in regards to the things that you've done, the ups, the downs, the highs and lows, the learning curves, right? That's life. Those are all proponents of success and building great character and wisdom along the way. If there was a certain movie or character that you've watched in the past, and is there one movie or character in the past that you relate to your life as of right now? Like, is there a certain character that kind of stand out with, like, if it's a superpower or a circumstance in life, like,
Yeah.
who would you relate your life to, movie wise or character wise?
I'll say right now, in this moment, the person I'll say is Will Smith in that movie, Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
That movie, you know, because I could relate to that in a way, in a different way. But at the end of the day, man, it's all about how you push forward no matter what it is.
Right.
There's always going to be hurdle. There's no perfect situation. I've talked to so many business owners, especially if my business is slow, and I'm like, man, is it only happening to me? And then I talk to some other business and they're like, man, my business is struggling too. So you got to understand that the key to winning is you keep going forward no matter what's going to happen. Obstacles are going to come your way. It doesn't matter where you are. Everyone, even the richest guy in the world today, right? Elon Musk. I promise you, the stress he's going through right now, he's probably saying to himself, man, why did I do this thing? Right? Because everyone's going to go through it. Because here's why. And here's why America is so strong. And most people don't understand the fact that, and I had to see that years ago when I realized that US government spends 70% of the budget is on defense. That changed the game for me. I'm like, that means they got money. The only person that got money is the only person that's protecting their money. They're spending 70% of the budget on defense. Interesting. That means there's a lot of wealth to be protected. And people miss that. So
Absolutely.
understanding that, the more wealth you have, tons of jealous people around that want to take your stuff. Look at how many countries are jealous of America. So I'm like, man, all right, get it. So the same thing for you as a business person, for you as an individual, whatever. As you start building your wealth, how are you protecting your wealth if somebody sue you? Because remember, we're in America. It's a free land. Some people work hard to make money. Some people are looking for who to sue to
Right,
make.
right.
So you gotta protect yourself. You gotta be protected all the way around. So I teach that, how to properly protect yourself, your family from lawsuit, making sure, you don't lose your hard-earned money. because money is like having a baby for the women listening. It took 9 months of labor, right? You worked hard. Those 9 months you were going through the pain, and then when you finally the day of the delivery, the labor, the man, you push, you did all that work, and then you had your baby, and you looked at your baby, you're like, man, I love you, but here, let me hand it over to someone else. You didn't do that. You're like, man, I'm gonna protect you for the rest of your life. If anybody
Right.
come, I'm gonna wound, beat the nonsense out of them. So guess what? Same thing with your money. You worked hard to make the money because it's not easy to make money. I don't care what, it's not easy to make money. So when the money finally gets to you, what are you doing with it? How are you protecting it? You don't want to lose. I've asked people this question: how much of your hard-earned money do you want to lose? Everybody says none. So why are you taking it and putting it somewhere where you don't have control over it? Even
Right.
your own money saying, why are you giving me away? I want to be with you.
Right. Right. So that takes me to my next question. When you're when you're working with different agents and working with your team, I don't know if it is, but how
Yeah.
important is it for honing your communication, how you deliver the message, how you
Yeah.
speak about the benefits versus the features, and how do you deal with rebuttals? Like, how has that been for you? Has that been an important component for your success for your business and your agents?
Of course. So the only time you get objections thrown at you is when the client is not clear on what it is that you're communicating with them. If you're clear, you are yourself educated about the product that you're offering, and now you pass the education to your client instead of just trying to sell them. Most people in this industry is just selling product. Oh, you could get into this mutual fund, is doing 8%, in the last 10 years, 20 years average return, selling product. Most people, when you ask them, oh, yeah, you have do you know how it work? Nah. You have a 401k. Do you know how it work? No. You have life insurance. Do you understand? Nah. I just did it for my friend. Nah. It's your hard-earned money. You don't just do it because. So what we do is we educate. So one thing that I realized quickly is so many people in America are in debt. And there's a reason why they're in debt. Because again, when you understand the country that you're in, the country says, listen, we want to control the money. So when you're in debt, you have no voice. I mean, we see examples every day. I used to use this before. I say, man, Little Wayne gets invited to the White House. They don't invite me. Why is that? Why did they invite Little Wayne to the White House? Well, because he has money. And now, when you have money, they're going to invite you. They're going to know you by your name. They're going to call you. You get a phone call. Ain't nobody calling us. So get the money and you will be invited to the table. So the first thing you need to understand is what are the holes in your financial bucket? Before you start pouring money in your financial bucket, the first thing we need to do is plug the holes. So we identify like 5 areas and we educate our agents and our clients on those 5 areas. The first one is taxes. The second one is qualified plans, those 401k IRAs. The third one is mortgages. The fourth one is what we call college education plan for kids. And the fifth one is how people make major capital purchase. A major capital purchase is anything your paycheck cannot buy. For example, you want to pay for a wedding, you want to go on vacation. That's a major capital purchase. So we show you how to plug the holes in those areas because we've seen millions and millions of dollars transferred away unknowingly because most people don't know they're transferring their wealth away and unnecessarily, we could fix it for them.
Right, right. So if you were on the outside looking in as a friend, looking at yourself and your work ethic and all the things that you've done, if you were to come up with a nickname for yourself, what would that nickname be?
Man, go hard or go home, man. You gotta put in the work. There's no easy work. You gotta put in the work. You gotta go, if one man can do it, another can do it too.
Yeah, yeah. So what is the nickname though? Tell me
Man,
what would you nickname yourself?
man.
If you were your homeboy and you was on the
Well,
outside
I
looking
already
in,
gave myself a nickname. I call myself the cash value king.
there you go.
Cash value king. Because I believe a lot in casual life insurance. And the reason is I understood it from the first time I was taught about it. I
Yeah.
saw the bad press about it. I said, wait a minute, there's a lot of bad press. I said, let's go back to the manufacturer of the product, insurance company, the US life insurance company. I said, let me research them. US life insurance company was started in the 1700s. And believe it or not, it was by a church, the
Hmm.
Methodist church, started life insurance.
Wow.
Over the years, it's evolved. Now, the US life insurance company is the richest in the world. That even people from China will come and buy life insurance in America.
Wow.
So once I understood how powerful the US life insurance companies are, I'm like, I got it. And then most people don't understand the power of it. And they keep relating it to the old 30 years ago. I'm like, listen, if you bought a car 30 years ago, the same car, brand new Toyota or whatever, or Honda or whatever car you bought it 30 years ago, it's not the same car today. So
Right.
why are you still using 30 years ago product to compare today's product? Makes no sense to me. Why don't you open up your mind and learn the new product? And this insurance company are in business to make money like every business. So if they're in business to make money and grow their wealth, guess what they're going? Like we talked about earlier, copy paste. And that was, you learn from your mistakes. You say, oh, okay, I messed up over here. I'm not going to do it again. And they revamp and reproduce products. So in our company, we don't just push one product. We understand how term insurance, how to position it correctly for our clients, whole life insurance, how to position it for our clients, IUL today, how to position it for our clients. So people can understand the value of all three and how they can use it to do other things that they want to do.
No, that's great. 3 words that you would define your mindset. What are 3 words?
Man, you asking some tough things. I think three words, man. You know, always seeking knowledge.
Okay.
Knowledge. Always want to learn, and um, I don't know. Is that three? Man, you gotta take it easy with me. I only went to high school diploma. I only have
so
a high school diploma
so
from Africa. I didn't go. I didn't go
so
to Harvard or nothing.
so for me, mine is is that defines my mindset. It starts with faith, and then it starts with my focus, and it starts with and it ends with my discipline. So those three are the ones who basically just kind of shifted. And so when I'm speaking to great minds like yourself and people that I deem successful and inspiring, I'm always interested to kind of extract those types of information because I know that there's something there. You probably you know have certain prayer or affirmations. So I'm always like inquisitive to know everyone's makeup in regards to what defines their mindset, because we always need certain things to rely on when it comes to centering ourselves, to recharge and reignite ourselves. Yeah, we are deemed by others as superheroes and people that are successful, but it's like you said, everyone goes through it, right? Just like you said, everyone goes through it. And so I always like to, ask that particular question. But the next question is the one that I really care most about. With this new company and this evolution and breaking off doing your own thing, you mentioned it earlier, working with your wife, working with your spouse. A lot of times that's something that's not projected out there in the world as much. But from a recent study, I don't know if you saw this statistic that when you do work with your spouse, your wealth increases 70%. And so the fact that you guys are doing this together, I mean, it speaks volume. How has that process been for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like everything else, the first thing you got to start with understanding that, she's a business on her own. I'm a business. And now we've come together, we merged companies, and now we're saying, okay, we're going to start a new company called True Legacy Life, right? So now we have two businesses. One is our family business, and now we have an outside business called this. And it's been great. It's just understanding and communicating and understanding everybody's role. her role, she knows exactly what she needs to do to get the family business going and the outside business, True Legacy Life, going. So it's great. It's not easy, just like everything else. Ain't
Right, right.
nothing easy, especially marriage ain't easy. You know. So, but as long as, like the question you asked earlier about, what keeps my mindset going, of course, you got to have your focus on God, because He's the one that makes it happen. For me, I'm a big believer that at the end of the day, you know, everything that we because some people believe they're gonna go to heaven and live out the rest of their life. I believe I have a different belief system. My belief system is just this, very simple. The good you do here will determine how you're gonna live again in the future when
Amen.
you come back. Because some people, they build wealth and remembering that your wealth you can't take it with you. But the question is, what if you mess around and come back to the same family? You gotta make sure the wealth is right,
It's
and
rolling
you
over, right?
preserve it.
It's rolling
Yeah,
over.
it's rolling over, so that when you come back, you're not crying. And it depends on how you protect it while you're here. So I'm teaching her that concept so she understands. Because again, people come in with different belief system to everything.
Yeah.
So you have to be aligned on the same message.
No, I appreciate that. And so, where can people that come across this interview learn more about you, like your socials or websites, so people can just kind of stay in touch and follow you on a journey, just as I do as well?
Yeah, definitely. So my digital card is very simple: ceodouglas.com. ceodouglas.com. That's the easiest way. You get everything about me on there, all my social media, everything. And you could hit me up any other. You could even contact me directly from there, because at the end of the day, listen, I'll take a phone call. Just don't just ask me for money. I don't have money to give you.
Give me $5.
Ain't got that, because again, the key is understanding, but you got to take control of your wealth. You got to take control of everything that you have going. I've written books, creating generational wealth, preserving it. You could tap in, all of them is in that link, ceodouglas.com.
Nice. And so all the books are on there. Well, and you've been the author of 5 different books, correct?
Yes,
And
five
and I see
different.
those in the background as well.
Yeah, man. Branding, man. I took my branding knowledge from the US government. They know how to brand the country, so I learned from them.
And I love what I'm wearing my son's gear
See?
today, though. So
It's the key. Listen, you gotta nobody. Fox 5 has never called me or CNN to say, hey, listen, we want to advertise your business, man. Come on, let's help. So you gotta be your own billboard
Yeah,
and sell
always.
always, man.
I think the same way, even when it comes to like the media aspect of it. So if I'm not highly sought after of, I went and built everything. So I built the
Right.
media company, I built the podcast, I built
Well,
everything.
I
So
love it.
therefore, I mean, now they have to come to me. Like,
Yes.
that's how I look at it. But Douglas, thank you once more, man, for an amazing conversation. As always, it's very exciting to hear some of the things that you have going on and just picking your brain in regards to what you're doing, and just your story is always amazing. I think a lot of people once more are going to get a lot of great value from this conversation. And as always, a little bit on down the road, we may have to do it again. We just got to keep doubling back,
Yeah,
so we
man.
can just keep making sure people know some of the great things that you're doing, and just kind of give people updates and keep them inspired. And we just keep supporting each other, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on. And let's keep inspiring folks the way you're doing it, and loads of success, man. Keep doing it.
Thank you. So, guys, that's been another great episode of the Majorvation Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to follow Douglas on all his journeys on the social medias, which will be in the notes section. All right, guys, until next time, stay majorvated. See you guys soon.